Good morning, afternoon, and good evening, everyone. This is comment number 2. I'm Tom Flores.
I'm Travis Baker.
And today we'll be talking about...
I forgot the name.
Doctor Strange.
I usually come up with a goofy name, but
it's already goofy from the get-go, if you think about it.
Yeah, it is.
This is a great addition to the Marvel Universe, I think. What do you think, Travis?
Yes.
Do you think
yes.
so? Mm-hmm. I think it was. Different pace, different style, so it's definitely a refresh, because if you do think about it, all the standalone Marvel movies and the Avengers ones kind of all have the same tone and feel, but this one was a completely different change of pace and incorporated different elements from the other MCU movies. And a little bit.
I don't know if it's a tonal change. There's like a lot of jokey stuff that I'm sure it's because that's the Avengers did. Yeah. That's the Guardians did. So it's like that's Marvel's shtick.
But I feel like it was delivered in a different way this time.
Yeah. No, there's this is a fun movie to watch. It's a very good entry. I mean, I have some flaws with it, but I don't want to talk about the flaws just yet. Let's talk about some positives. Cumberbatch.
So phenomenal.
He's a very good American. I don't know if this is the first time he's ever played an American. I don't think so. But he nails that accent right on point. And
yeah, I think this is the first time.
It's funny in that opening scene, in the scene where you first introduced to him and he's doing brain surgery.
Yeah.
He's very cocky, and I'm kind of getting Dr. House vibes, which is funny because Hugh Laurie was a Brit who played an American on House, and House is inspired by Sherlock Holmes.
And
it's played by Cumberbatch.
Also, yeah,
it's that 7 degrees of separation.
His character at the beginning is a very cocky, an asshole, because he actually, when he's doing the brain surgery, he's actually dancing.
Yeah, he's got his own like groove music, which obviously is. I think the music is a nod to the kind of music that was around when the character was first created.
Oh.
That's which also goes with the visuals, which is supposed to, that psychedelic art style that Steve Ditko had when he drew the books, and which they did. They adapted very well in the movies. And I guess this is a good segue to the flaw I had. I felt like the movie needed to be longer.
Yes. Oh, yes.
The movie needed to be longer.
The passage of time during his training was
especially that.
It was a little too fast. Like, we understood what was going on. We kept up. It was just slightly fast, so I think it could have been longer just for help with the passage of time, because he's training for months.
It's in a hurry to get to the good stuff.
The finale. The finale.
The fun stuff. And it's a great finale.
Yes.
But also the stuff where, like, you're looking at all the weird is the part where he goes like where essentially he just goes inside a bunch of album covers. I mean, that's how a lot of people describe it as like old rock album covers. Someone did a review on YouTube and they said the thing about rock and roll of that time was you didn't rock out to it, you grooved to it.
You felt it.
Yeah, Bob Chipman, just so anyone knows who I'm copying there. But I get that. And I was also thinking, what would this movie be like if Stanley Kubrick directed it? Because there's that one sequence where it's like all those colors coming at you. It reminded me
of the gateway jump in
the gateway jump in 2001.
Yeah, the Stargate.
And thinking, this is that on crack.
Oh yeah, because it's definitely.
I kind of want to see this slowed down.
It's not a downer. It's an upper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing that was interesting when I found out. Now, I personally have never read the comic books of Doctor Strange, but I was told by people that the character Tilda Swinton plays is actually an legitimately old man in the comic books.
The ancient one.
And I thought...
An old Tibetan man.
And I thought...
Controversy.
And even though I didn't go into it, and I went into it, I'm like, you know what, though? Like, I think she did phenomenal.
She's good.
Yeah.
She's really good in playing that Obi-Wan Kenobi role.
Without having to be old.
Without having to be old.
Look old or act old.
She doesn't need to look old to play a wise person.
No, and what was interesting, too, about her character, since we're talking about it, the ancient one, her character brings up a very good theme about superheroes, where almost the fact of necessary evil is sometimes needed to fight evil.
Ooh, yeah.
Because it's not, unfortunately, when battling evil, it can't be all black and white. Like, that's just it. You broke the law, or you did something that is bad legally or morally, or whatever type of bad you think of. You're evil. You got to be taken down. her
It's
character.
like Rorschach's mentality.
Yeah, that's
from
Rorschach's,
Watchmen.
but it's more of you got to unfortunately work with either the evil you're fighting or a certain type of evil to overcome evil.
Yeah.
And that's what good almost has to play by the rules that evil plays, which is no rules.
Yeah.
You can't be so strict and diligent. You have to be a little more open-minded about it. I mean, and that was interesting because with Doctor Strange, when he found that out, he was first against her, but then he realized it was needed to be done because what she did was she tapped into the power of evil to keep to become basically eternal, to live forever. And I think she did that so she could keep teaching people the arts of the magic to have more soldiers on the good side to fight.
Yeah, I would. He was. It wasn't so much he was against her. I mean, I think
At first
he
he
felt
was
a
like,
little
"Whoa."
betrayed. But I thought, yeah, Doctor Strange is going to be forgiving because that's how he is set up.
Yeah.
Like, it's introduced that he's a guy that likes to play fast and loose to get the job done.
And he has, and then he,
Yeah.
and at the end he really does still have to play fast and loose a little
And it's
bit.
interesting that when Tilda Swinton tells him, he's like, "Oh, I just killed someone. You know, I took an oath not to do that. I took an oath to do no harm." And she's like, "Nah, you did the doctor stuff just for yourself.
Yeah.
You became a brain surgeon because you wanted to become a brain surgeon, not because
to help
of,
people.
Of heroic
It was for the
duty.
fame, glory, and money, and other fun you can get from it.
Yeah,
All right, yeah. So that's why I like that for a superhero movie, that theme where, because think about it, Captain America, for example, it's always straight good. That's it.
Yeah.
And we look up to that, and we've seen that in every single Captain America movie and the Avengers movie. Thor's kind of like that, but Black Widow is the one who is a double agent, and when you hear double agent, it's usually a bad term,
Yeah.
and especially in cinema. But as we've seen, like in Civil War, there was a reason why. It's not only a survival tool, but it's also for the necessary evil to be able to play both sides. Because in Captain America Civil War, she was against Cap. And her and Cap, as we've seen, have become a close team.
yeah,
They're friends, they're close. But it must have been hard for her, but she did it for the right reason.
yeah.
And with the Ancient One, she works with evil in a way to help good out in the end. And that's what I like about superheroes, because it really is, unfortunately, not always just one side, evil versus good. You sometimes have to mix the two together for good to overcome evil.
Arguably, this is not the first time they've dealt with this. I mean, Iron Man has similar ideas, like, Tony Stark. They started out as selfish. I'm gonna sell weapons because I can make money off of that.
But he still hasn't learned it.
He hasn't learned it because everything he does in Civil War reinforces that. Every time he suits up and does something heroic, he's still doing it for himself, but it's out of guilt. Whereas
He's trying to buy his soul. That's what he's doing.
yeah. Whereas this story is about Doctor Strange fully finding his soul.
Yeah,
Like, but
not buying it or trying to get it back, finding it. It's more
Yeah. And this actually goes all the way with that. Whereas Iron Man, and I'm not saying this is a problem with Iron Man, it's just a characteristic of Tony Stark.
It's a problem with his character, not a problem with the writing, but the character as a person.
It's
yeah.
a problem with
flaw.
it's a character flaw.
Yeah, and that's why it's very interesting. And that's why I say it in different change of pace, because it brings that theme, but someone finds it and realizes it and knows it, uses it as a tool, not as a detriment.
Yeah.
And okay, another thing also to talk about the film, what we said about the humor. His cape is literally a supporting character. His cape is hilarious.
We're getting a lot of like magic carpet from Aladdin vibes.
Yeah.
In that cape.
Oh my gosh! Exactly what it was. It was like the magic carpet.
Yeah.
The actual attitude.
I'm very sure Scott Derrickson,
Both owned by Disney,
Roger
so
Cargill,
they can copy that.
Whoever the other writer was, they're sure they all,
And-
probably Kevin Feige, they all saw Aladdin together.
And since it's owned by Disney, it's all fine.
That's what we're doing with the cape.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I love the final battle with
Mad Magazine, he was phenomenal.
further with
Further with
that entire sequence. Yeah, it starts out like they're all punching each other.
Yeah.
And like that area of Hong Kong is collapsing and getting
destroyed,
wrecked.
yeah.
It's about to get all Man of Steel up in
a
there.
portal to the evil.
I love how like the end. Can we spoil it?
Yeah, we'll go.
All right, yeah.
What is it?
It's been a week. We would have recorded this. We saw this together on Tuesday.
Doctor Strange has been out for almost 2 weeks, basically.
Yeah, we would have recorded this Tuesday, but we looked on our phones and saw how the election was going, and I got like a bunch of anxiety. So I just said, I don't feel like doing this. I got to go home, which would be good because I've probably been just being like, oh, there's another state.
So now
I would not have been focused.
So what part?
Okay, the damage got reversed completely.
Oh yeah.
But it's not. It didn't feel like a cop out because it actually like it was established early on with the Eye of Agamotto messing around with time, and it basically used that to make it so the battle never happened.
So this is an
it seemed like
it working.
Yeah, it seemed like almost a big FU to DC. Like
again. Like Avengers 2 did a big FU to DC.
Well, this is a bigger FU. Like, haha, guess what? Nothing happened. Nothing happened after all. No one died. No buildings got wrecked. Everything is fine. 99% in the end.
Just the bad guys are gone.
Yeah.
Bad guys are gone.
Bad guys are gone. And even then, they take care of the bad guys. Not by like punching them, beating them, stabbing them. Like each of the 3 DC movies, like Zod got stopped by getting his neck stabbed. Doomsday got stopped by getting stabbed. Enchantress, they threw a bunch of C4 in there. I think that's how that ended.
Oh, and he shot her.
Oh yeah, and he shot her. It's like, punching, shooting, stabbing.
This one was actually
That's how you solve problems in the DC universe.
Evil take care of it. Evil.
Yeah.
That's how. Okay.
It's like he does the Groundhog Day trick, and then it makes this all-powerful godlike being Dormammu his bitch, using a special tool called time. That was neat. That was clever.
And another thing, talking about time, the amulet he wears. What was it called again?
The Eye of Agamotto.
We have now another Infinity Stone.
Yep.
Which was awesome. So
I knew that right off the bat. It's like, it's a shiny thing.
I did it, and then at the end, I'm like, I think it's something, and then
it's like a shiny thing on his chest. Okay, it's an Infinity Stone.
So that's good. So the universe is still coming together for the big Avengers 3 Part 1 and 2 movie, which is good to see. It's all coming. And what's also another treat, when you watch the post-credit scene, the first one, Doctor Strange is going to be in Thor 3. Looks like.
Yeah.
And that's going to be great. Hulk, Thor, and Doctor Strange. That's going to be a great. It's going to be a great trio.
That might make a good Thor movie for once.
And a different type of lineup for a team.
No, he's so sorry.
Doesn't make sense if you think about it for a team. So this is going to be really interesting. Another thing I did like for a PG-13 movie, his crash was pretty graphic, and I like how for to be really graphic and get the audience going like, oh, you don't have to be R-rated. It works better PG-13.
I'm actually kind of surprised because
his hands got destroyed.
Yeah, the whole thing, his hands got wrecked, but his car crashed down a mountain.
And it's the way...
It's amazing his hands are the only things that got wrecked.
But it emphasized how his hands got destroyed, and it was like the metal of the car just wrapped around him and then just smashed him. Almost.
Yeah, you see his hands going in.
But it slowed specifically for that, where it went... And then it kept going, so I was like, oh! And that's why I like PG-13 movies that can get away with something that should be R-rated, but they just do it in a different way, and it's even a greater impact. It's almost like the whole what you don't see is more like is more of an impact.
Yeah.
You still see it, but you just do it in a different way where you don't need blood and gore.
Yeah.
Any other things you want to talk about?
I just wanted to, because I mentioned it's a clever way to end a movie or to end the main conflict.
Yeah.
And it had me point out that it had me think about how Marvel's usually very good at that. And people talk about the Marvel formula. One thing I will appreciate about the Marvel formula is that they're very keen. It'd be so easy just to have it as, I'm going to punch you, you're going to punch me, boom, boom. They try not to do that, even in their weaker films, like Thor 2, still got that portal sequence. Where it's like they're fighting and they're going through like portals and all of that. It wasn't just, oh, I'm gonna punch you, big explosions everywhere. No, that's like they're trying to do something neat with it.
Okay.
And I like how the Marvel movies have been very good about that.
They've been very smart. Each one is still doing great.
Like
even their weaker ones.
They don't want their fights to be dull. They want you to remember. Because, like, Thor 2, I think, is the worst of the Marvel movies in that it's very weak. But that's a cool sequence.
Yeah, it shows.
I still remember that sequence, even though I've only seen that movie once.
Oh, yeah. I loved everything about it. I loved, too, when he first was enlightened by the Ancient One when she put her thumb on his head. There were some moments where it was like, I was like, oh, it's like how Guardians of the Galaxy was filmed when they were in space. And like I said, I like how they're combining a lot of different elements of the previous Marvel movies into the one to show that it really is going to come together soon. In about a little over a year, we're going to get everyone in one big movie. It's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be awesome. But it's showing how it's still coming together. And just little hints. It's like, we're still coming together. We're pulling it all together.
I think I remember the nickname that I was going to give this film in the review.
Oh,
I was going to say Harry Potter and the Massive Inception.
Ooh.
That was going to be my nickname for this movie.
Yeah, because
So you got wizards, and you got things that are like...
And you got the...
If that scene in Inception...
With DiCaprio
was
and Ellen
actually a dream sequence.
Yeah, because when the buildings are like folding and... Yeah. That was
they
an
added
interesting battle. That was a great fight scene. The chase scene, fight scene.
And all the visuals, I kept thinking, how do you storyboard this?
Oh, God, yeah.
How did you...
Oh, and side note, I can see why you want to see it in IMAX. You don't need to, but I can see why. You don't need to, but holy crap, I can see why.
I think it's fine if you see it in IMAX.
But can you imagine how more awesome it would? It was already like wow to watch. It would be like honestly, I feel like seeing this in IMAX would be close to watching Avatar for the first time in IMAX 3D. It's just like whoa.
But
sorry, storyboarding. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, I don't know how because
it was so.
Like, I don't know how there'd be like a frame of reference for all the stuff that goes, especially in that, like, when they're chasing in the mirror dimension and all the kaleidoscope inception stuff is happening. Like, how did Scott Derrickson, the director, know how to direct his actors to do the things they're doing? Because they had to have had all of that figured out in order to tell the actors what to do, how to react, how to move around. Yeah, like, you need to previs the hell out of this
Travis,
thing.
too, he has basically everyone, all the actors have been Academy Award nominated and won, so they could have just been acting the shit out of it, too.
Some of them won, I should say.
No, some of them won, but every single one has been nominated.
Yeah.
So it's like they must have just acted the shit, because that's an awesome little fun note, too, about this movie. Every single person's been nominated, a couple have won, but every single person has been nominated for an Oscar in this film, so it's like, damn! And they're acting.
Has Madsen been
Nominated.
What was he nominated for?
I forget, but I know he's...
Was it some foreign film?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Like Javier Bardem was, but I mean, I know he won for an American film, but he was not.
Okay.
But it's like that. It's just everyone's been nominated at least, and it's like...
Yeah. Rachel McAdams could have been given more screen time.
I liked her.
She was great.
Oh my gosh, she was...
I feel like if the movie was longer, they should have elaborated her
Yeah, if it was
more.
longer, we could have had a lot more...
Because, like,
Because even though Benedict Cumberbatch
she is love interest character, but...
She's more.
She had a personality, and I wish they had more time with her.
Yeah, and I wish they had more time with the cape. Because it was such a... The cape had such...
I wish they had more time for Mads Mikkelsen. I mean, I'm glad they were able to get his motivation across.
Yeah.
Which was nice. But it was just kind of this scene where he talks about his motivation. I wish there was more to it. Like if there was a flashback storyline.
To show why.
Like if they this would be cool.
Yeah, because they think the opening scene is a flashback, but it's not.
Because they did hint at a possible parallel between Strange and Castle, whatever his name.
But his character, yeah.
And I think it would be cool if there was a parallel flashback storyline. See the characters essentially going through the same stuff, but then you see them going different paths, and then finally they converge.
Yeah.
You don't need that scene where he's just like, "Oh, I want to end death, end time, or I want everything to be timeless. I don't want anyone to die. I'm here to save the world." It'd be nice if that was told more visually, if that was set up better with character instead of just a scene where he's like, "I'm going to tell you my motivation now."
Okay.
Because I'm captive and I'm not doing anything until I break free and cause more trouble in the third act.
Yeah. But yeah, all right. Yeah, honestly, I would have. This is the movie where I wanted to see more.
Definitely.
Just because it was so good. Not because it was like I need more, like Suicide Squad.
This is good. It's just not enough.
I know, it's not enough awesome. It's like more awesomeness. We want more. Yeah.
More awesomeness would have made the film more complete.
Overall, it's still in theaters. Keep seeing it. Worth the ticket, and it gets you more ready for the what's to come. I'm Tom Flores.
I'm Travis Baker.
Once again, this is comment number 2. Thank you for joining us. Catch you the next time. Bye.
Bye.